Hey folks, this is Andrew again, another Missionary Max moment coming at you. And today, I just want to talk a little bit about the cover of the book. This is one of the things I'm most excited about this edition of Missionary Max and the Jungle Princess. First time in paperback, and the cover is just spectacular. If you haven't seen it, I'll try to hold it up here. This is the cover. It has Missionary Max, and it shows the Jungle Princess, whose name is Ilana, and they're both kind of swinging by a rope over a crowd of, shall we say, very restless natives. And this is, of course, a scene from the story, and I'm not going to tell you what that scene is, what's happening. You'll just have to get the book from Amazon.com, paperback or Kindle, and read it for yourself. But I got to tell you, it's just as exciting as the artist made it, and that's one of the cool things. It's like the artist got inside of my head and drew exactly what I was thinking about this cover. And so, and I want to tell you a little bit about how that came out. One of the things we do in Brazil, every once in a while, I'll teach an English class, kind of like a supplemental income thing, but it also opens doors for us in the community, and we make contacts that we would not have otherwise made. And there's a huge demand for English teachers, and when you're a native English speaker in that kind of a context, then it's just, people are knocking on my door all the time. Hey, can you teach me English? Can you teach me English? I can only say yes to maybe 1% of all of the people that ask me to do something related to English. So anyway, this particular day I was teaching an English class, so one of my students, this was during the time when when Missionary Max, it was originally called the Astonishing Adventures of Missionary Max, and it had been taken off the market due to the previous publisher changing venues. And so I was reformatting the book, and I needed to have a good cover. I realized that you don't judge a book by the cover. You're not supposed to, but a lot of people do. So I needed to have a good cover. So I was talking to one of my English students who was into the whole comic book scene, and let me just explain that from the beginning, I've wanted Missionary Max to have kind of an old-timey comic book or pulp novel feel to it, that adventure, adrenaline-filled kind of feel that you used to get reading the old comic books and so on. And so I was talking to an English student of mine who there in Brazil, who she was into the whole comic book scene, and our city has its own version of Comic-Con and the cosplay thing. If you're into that, you know what that is. She was into that, and we had talked a lot about that. So I asked her if she knew any good comic book artists there in the city of San Luis, and she gave me a whole list of names. Oh yeah, check this out, this out, this out. And she didn't have numbers, but she said they're all on Facebook. So when I got home, I went on Facebook and started to type it up. And I saw a whole lot of them, but there was one guy, and his style really grabbed me. His name is Zilson Costa. And so on Facebook, I entered in contact with him, told him who I was, said I'm writing a book, have written a book, would like for you to draw a cover. I really like your style. What would you charge? And so then he very graciously got in touch with me and asked, I think, a few more details. I gave him a few more details, and he gave me a good price, and so we went from there. And that process, I think, it took about a year as I was reformatting and so on. So it took about a year, and there were a couple of things that came up. In fact, if you follow our ministry at all, you know that in that last year of ministry, we had some real upheavals. And so there was a lot of time I wasn't working at it, but finally I got back in touch with him, and he hadn't forgotten me. We set up a price, and then he sent me some rough drawings, and I loved the rough drawings. I said, well, this is perfect. This is it. And so we sealed the deal, and shortly before I came back to the U.S., he sent me this cover. and I was just so excited. It was fantastic. I was just jumping at the bit to show people, but I didn't want to show them. I finally published the cover a little bit before the published date of the book, just because I was so excited to have this drawing representing the story. Zielson and I, we did all of our contact via Facebook, and I never actually sat down and met him personally. I know what he looks like, but only because of his profile picture on Facebook. If that's somebody else, I have no idea what he looks like. But anyway, once I got back to the States, we were setting up the details so he could receive payment, and he sent me his address, and it turned out he only lived like 2 streets over from where we were living in our last house that we lived in when we were in Brazil. So 2 streets over. He lived on the same street as one of my favorite pizza places there in Greater São Luís. So I told her that all this time, and we were like 2 blocks away from each other. We got a kick out of that. Anyway, one of the things, even before people buy the book, they look at the cover and they say, wow, that's a great cover. That's a great cover. So I'm just grateful to God that he kind of brought me together through my English student with such a great talent as Zielson Costa. He has a website where some of his artwork is on display, and I'll put a link down below. And what's neat about his artwork, some of it is some of the superheroes that he draws and all that for different comic book projects are based in São Luís. So you'll see like the superheroes fighting or doing what superheroes do, which is basically fighting. And the background are streets and scenes that I know in São Luís. So it's pretty cool. So I'll post that down there, and you'll see this guy's a very talented artist. And he is currently drawing the cover for the next Missionary Max book. And he has sent me a rough draft for that cover. And I got to tell you, this is good. The next one's going to be better. A lot better. He just pulled out all the stops. And that's all I can say. The next cover is just going to... People are going to look at that cover and go, yeah, I want to know what's going on there. I could tell you more, but I prefer to show you. Now, I put this on our Facebook page a couple days ago, and I want to reiterate it here. This is something. We're going to make this fun, and maybe generate some book sales here. Who knows? What we're going to do? A few people have already, I think 4 people have already, when they ordered the book, and they got it in the mail, and they took a selfie of themselves with the book and posted it on my Facebook page or marked me on the photo. Hey, Andrew, look, we just got our book. And that's so cool, and I've shared those. And so what I'd like to do is we're going to do this. I will put the rough draft for the cover online, okay? When this happens, I need 25 people to buy the book. Now, if you've already bought the book, you can still participate. Just skip the first step, okay? You don't need to buy 2 books. Just if you already bought it, then you can participate. But if you haven't bought it, then buy the book, okay? When you get the book, then what you can do, what you need to do is take a picture, a selfie, click, click, of the book, and put it on Facebook and mark me, okay? Andrew Cummings. If you're not following me on Facebook, you can find me on Facebook, Andrew Cummings, Comings. I'll put the Facebook link down there. And mark me, or somehow or other get that picture to me, okay? And I'll post it on our Missionary Max fan page. And when we get to 25, now we've already had 4, so we only need 21 more. When we get to 25 more, 21 more, total of 25 selfies with Missionary Max, then I will post the rough draft of the cover. Now, this is only going to work for about 3 weeks, because very likely in 3 weeks he'll have the regular thing for me. But if you want a preview, of that Missionary Max cover, okay, that he has sent me, I have it in my possession on my hard drive and backed up, so I can't lose it. Then do that. If you've already bought the book, take a selfie. Let me know where you are. Put it on Facebook somewhere so I can find it, and we'll start collecting them. And when I have 25 total selfies, Missionary Max selfies, then I will put the rough draft of the cover online, show it to everybody, drawn by the incredibly talented Brazilian comic book artist Zilson Costa. Okay, well, that's all for today. Next time, in our next video, I want to talk a little bit about, about different aspects of the story, and I want to talk a little bit about the island of Cabrito. If you haven't read the book, the story takes place, most of it, on a little island called Cabrito. And we're going to talk about what that means, and a little bit about the culture of the island. Don't go looking on the map. It's a fictional island. We're going to talk a little bit about the culture that we've developed for that island, the language, and kind of what's behind it. Very interesting. So, buy the book, post a selfie, get 20 other people to do that, and then you will see the rough draft, beautiful, beautiful rough draft for the exciting cover for the next Missionary Max book. Goodbye. God bless.